lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, and a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
Tomorrow is about the lessons we learn today. A farmer's market teaches us that community is grown together. Kids laughing shows us how joy is easy. And coffee on the porch reminds us to savor every moment. These are the lessons that shape a tomorrow we all share. One filled with trust, good company, and wide open dreams. That's the way banking should be. And that's Pinnacle Bank. Member FDIC.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Well, who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with 0 down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street, online at doubleeagle.golf.
No one's ever explained it this way. That's what we hear at Trade-Offs when you finally see how today's crop insurance tools work with your grain marketing plan, not in isolation. With hail and wind rates increasing and margins already tight, it's time to challenge how you look at crop insurance. It's time to ask better questions. It's time to call Trade-Offs. Call us at 402-858-7501 or visit gotradeoffs.com to start the conversation. That's GOTREDAS.com. Trade-Offs, ingrained in your success. No, seriously, give us a call.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
You've gotten used to one segment of Good Takes in the morning, but now there's a full show of Good Takes at night. Welcome into Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome in. Harrison runs on the ones and twos. Raff's Good Take on Sports, 93.7 The Ticket. And Raff, it's over.
The good weather is ended in Lincoln, Nebraska. No golf, no golf, no golf.
Yeah, it sucks.
It does not look. How much snow do you think they got so far?
I think we're probably close to 6 inches, maybe a little bit more. Or no, maybe I'm probably blowing it up way too much. I'll say probably between, depending on where you're at, so spotty, like 4 to at the most maybe 7.
Man, that is crazy. I don't want to rub it in, but I did smoke a cigar tonight with no shirt on outside because it was close to 80 degrees down here today, but that's it.
Oh, okay. So you just did the overnight swap, huh? You just took our good weather and you gave us your crappy cold weather. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I pulled up the good old 511. Obviously, the road app to let you see which roads are covered. Getting home tonight is going to kind of suck, Raff. These roads are covered. They haven't started, at least I don't think, and I'm not shaming whoever that is out there doing the work, clearing the roads, but I think they're waiting for this snow to stop because you can't see it on TV or on screen, but it is still snowing. So they're waiting to do it. I don't know what the roads are going to look like when I'm driving home. Shout out our guy, Jay. Jay just booked the night at the hotel right across the street because he has to go out of town. I can't remember where he exactly lives. I don't want to air that out anyways, but
exact address.
Yeah, it's bad out here. Bad enough to where one of our coworkers who came in, not a terribly long drive, but a decent enough drive, he's like, screw it, I'm getting a hotel. So that's where we're at currently.
That's wild. I saw Mr. Swim Sainert made it down to Globe Life Stadium in Texas. So good to see he made it down there with the baseball team. So he'll be there to cover the Nebraska baseball all weekend.
Yeah, but DP's down there in Utah. He took off. Going to go support the Husker wrestling team, obviously, as they're getting on take on Utah Valley on Saturday. But everyone left at the right time. I got stuck.
Well, I'm wondering about AD. He flies back to Sioux Falls tonight and speaks there tomorrow. I wonder. Hopefully, the roads will be cleared off and good to go that he can get back to Lincoln. So,
he'll be fine. Tomorrow is really just Lincoln and Omaha, kind of like that stretch right between there. Because I know like up northeast, I don't think they really got anything. Like 3 hours up north where I'm from, and if you go south enough, there's not a whole lot either. We just kind of got hit in this band where it really sucks. Unless I'm wrong. Yeah, 402-464-5685. Drive safe if you are, and probably don't text and drive in these elements. But yeah, I'm kind of curious. Let me know how bad the roads are, and if it's going to be a peachy time going home or it's going to be horrible. But I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle.
So I hate to get this show off started on the wrong foot, but Indiana Bears, I mean, does that have a good ring to it or not? I mean, the last time we spoke about it, I was like, I don't think so. But man, they're pushing hard. They're turning the screws, I think, on the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago. It's just like it's starting to lean. I think as of tonight, it's leaning more towards Indiana than Illinois.
Yeah, I've just been mentally accepting it. I don't know if it's another ploy to just get leverage, but I'll tell you what, the city of Chicago, I'll say with my own opinion, that is embarrassing how bad I think they're handling this.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to squeeze so much out of this. Because you look at the amount of taxes that they want to put on them, it's insane. It'd be, I don't know. I want to give the exact numbers because I don't know off the top of my head. And I should pull up the actual numbers, but there's a lot of reasons why the Bears are right to look outside of the city of Chicago, because the deal they're getting and why they're really looking at all these other locations is they're just going to get really screwed over if they try to do it in Chicago with the way the deal is currently structured. So I think Indiana might be a real possibility.
If you're Roger Goodell right now, I mean, what are your thoughts and feelings? I mean, here you're wanting to make the NFL international and get it to all the big top cities. And then you're going to have, I believe Chicago's what, your number 2, number 3, probably your number 3 market, probably New York, Los Angeles, Chicago. And there's a possibility that you're not going to have one of your flagship teams. I mean, the Chicago Bears, I mean, when you write the story of the NFL, they are ingrained as, one of the forefathers of the National Football League. And just to think that there's a chance that there might not be the Chicago Bears in Chicago, that's one thing I thought I would never see ever. And to think that, that Indiana's making the push that they are, passing, what was it, 24 votes to 0 to, to get legislature, in their favor. And right now, if you're Chicago, if you're the Bears, you've just got to be sitting there going, hey, we've got to go to where, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about making money. And if Indiana's, going to roll out the red carpet, but I did read though that it's only 25 miles from where the stadium is now.
Yeah,
so
it's only. It's not as big a deal to me for that reason. Like, it's not Chicago, but listen, the San Francisco 49ers don't play in San Francisco. I don't think the Miami Dolphins are necessarily right in Miami either. I mean, it sucks, I think, a little bit more because the Chicago Bears are such a historic team. They have all that history, and they're one of those really old teams that was kind of in there in the early days. But, it wouldn't be the first time that these teams would move to a city, keep the city name, but obviously be outside the city borders.
But you got to think, though, if they would move to Indiana, the state of Indiana is going to want there. But then again, they've already got the Indianapolis Colts. So who'd have thunk that there's a chance that Indiana could have 2 NFL teams? I'd have never thought that ever.
I'll tell you what, some of these states are finding out, and some of these towns are figuring out that they're just, I don't know what's wrong with them, but they have a much tougher deal getting these lucrative teams in there. And part of it, it's like if you're Indiana, it's smaller, and it makes sense why it's going to be cheaper over there because they had a unanimous vote on the bill that they passed to try to lure the Chicago Bears in there. And obviously, if you're trying to go through the city of Chicago and say you want more of the taxpayer money to kind of help build the stadium, that's a whole new ballgame. That's a lot more people to go through than as opposed to a state like Indiana, which is still plenty to cut through, but I'll just say Chicago politics are different than Indiana politics. And I'm not saying one's right or one's wrong. One just has a lot bigger that you're going to have to go through.
Yep, true that.
So I think it's a big part of it. I don't know if it's another ploy, if they'll officially become the Indiana Bears, but I am kind of at the point where it is what it is. I'm still going to watch the team.
Yeah, the future is bright. They have the young quarterback, Ben Johnson. I mean, they're ready to go. They're ready to win. So it'll be an interesting, I guess, couple years, or I would think they would get something before the next year's football season. You think they'll have an idea of where the direction they go, because sooner or later you've got to make a decision on what you're going to do, and if the city of Chicago will pony up or what will happen there. But it's definitely wild to think that there could be no NFL team in the city of Chicago, just being the major market that which they are.
It'd be a travesty.
I'll tell you what, if Al Davis was still alive, you would see the Raiders potentially moving to Chicago because he'd be going for, I mean, now the Raiders are happy, of course, in Las Vegas, but man, if he would have still been in Oakland, that would have been interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of over it. I'll be honest, I was so attached to them being in the city of Chicago, but I'm really at a point. I just don't think it's going to get done. I've kind of accepted the fact. So I don't really mind. It's only 25 minutes away. I will say they were looking at Iowa. I would have blown a gasket if it was going to be the Iowa Bears. That one, my skin would have crawled a little bit. I still would have rooted for the team, but that one would be tougher to swallow than being the Indiana Bears.
Yeah, that would be rough. That'd be very rough. So we got big day today. The football is upon us. It felt like it was not even gone for that long, but spring ball starting this weekend. Coach Rule, Coach Ulrich, Coach Holgerson took the mic today. I mean, I was just like, I saw so much material to talk about in all those press conferences today and all the players that spoke that you could dedicate an entire hour to it. So I'm thinking that's the direction we got to take.
Easy enough, right? You want to? Okay, let's try to think of a good one to start off with here. I'll give you the option. You want to hear from Rule, Holgerson, or Ulrich first?
Let's go with Rule first, and then we'll make our way through to Ulrich and Holgerson.
Okay, let's see here. I think we can start with this. We'll start with this. The quarterback, Anthony Colandrea. Let's get Matt Rule's thoughts on the new transfer quarterback out of UNLV, Anthony Colandrea.
Yeah, I think the maybe the biggest adjustment in today's football is that you're not really building off previous year's team. I mean, it's kind of a brand new team every single year, and so everybody, whether they were here before or whether they're coming in as a freshman or coming in from another school, they all have to sort of adapt into each other. I think from the very first moment that I met Anthony when he got out of the car with his parents on the visit, you could tell that there's something special about him, right? He's a dynamic player with a great personality, very affable. I mean, at the end of the day, I think you want your quarterback to, probably walk a little bit different than everybody else. He has a lot on his shoulders, but be one of the guys. And I think Anthony's done that really, really well.
All right, your thoughts.
Okay, so when I hear that, the first thing that rings in my head is there wasn't a quick mention of TJ Lateef. Like, I guess part of me was when they got Colandrea, I figured he would be the starting quarterback, being that he started so many games and was the Mountain West Player of the Year. But there was not a mention of when TJ Lateef is, he said, when you're the guy, it sounds to me like there's really not going to be much of a quarterback competition. It sounds like Colandrea has been anointed the starting quarterback. I mean, if you're listening out there, if anybody disagrees with me, but I didn't hear much of like the or TJ Lateef. The one thing that we'll get to possibly, and this is with Dana Holgerson, said that, believe me, TJ Lateef feels that he's the starter, but when he spoke, it sounds like Colandrea is the starting quarterback at Nebraska.
Yeah, and I don't know if anyone asked like a specific TJ Lateef question, unless I missed it, but which was kind of surprising. I thought someone certainly would. But we do got this one as well, and I don't know if he still quite addresses it. But here's Matt Rule. Is it important for one of the QBs to be a leader with so many new faces in that room? Here's Matt Rule on that QB room.
Yeah, I think it's I think that's probably true everywhere in today's college football. There's not many teams, playing in the college football playoff that aren't playing with a transfer quarterback. And I just think it's, it might still feel weird to us, but it's the new normal for these kids. I think when you look on social media, more kids now announce that they're staying than necessarily even leaving. It's just they kind of have all grown up this way. And so I think, in the ecosystem of a football team and a football locker room, you can't manufacture leadership. I think sometimes when you do and you try to force it as a coach, people resent it because they know that guy's really not a leader. So, I think Anthony's deferred to, TJ and deferred to the other guys in terms of, hey, I'm just trying to learn my way here. And, we'll let that evolve naturally as the spring goes on and into the second phase of spring training.
All right. Kind of have it right there. Raff?
Yeah, no, I just go back. It feels like it's the stage is set, that this is Colandrea's team as he, continues to learn, continues to earn the respect of the team. I keep on going to Dana Holgerson too, just because Dana had spoke on the quarterback, talked about them running sprints and that Colandrea, sets the tone running the sprints, to earn the respect and the leadership of this team. So yeah, I guess I was a little surprised because I thought basically what they were going to say was, hey, it's going to be a quarterback competition. But then at the end of the day, I figured, Colandrea would be the starting person. And I guess I like the directness that they're not dragging their feet. And it sounds like to me that, Colandrea is that guy. And I think from a team standpoint, I think this will be the best thing for Nebraska because the one thing Nebraska could not afford was a big quarterback battle and not knowing who the quarterback was going to be until the first game of the year. So if they have things decided here in spring ball, You can go into fall camp. You have Calandria as your clear-cut number one, and you're able to get things done. And you're not going into fall camp going, we still don't know who our quarterback is.
Yeah, that's kind of where I landed. I don't know. I'd like it to be a competition still, but to be fair, in today's NIL era, I think it was his job to lose. And the way they were speaking was it was his job to lose. And I'm totally fine with that. I'd much rather take the direct statements as opposed to, the eye candy that just kind of say things that sound good, but in reality, we're not giving you the full story there. So I totally get that. He had the line like when he comes out of his, parents' car, you knew he was special right away. I kind of squinted at that a little bit. I was like, well, let's see, right? I don't want to get into the Jeff Sims road again, where we're really hyping a guy up, NFL talent, just for things to fall apart. I'm not down on Calandria. I'm just not sold on him yet either. I know a lot of Husker Nation is. Where are you at with Anthony Calandria? And obviously you got to see it, but with his tape out of Virginia and then UNLV, are you kind of sold on his ability that he can, at the very least, be that guy for Nebraska?
I think he has the tools to where he can be that guy. But on the other hand, also with his big plays, there comes, some bad plays. And it's like, is Nebraska going to automatically revert once he has a bad play? Oh no, we got the next Jeff Sims. It's like, how is that transition going to be? Or is he going to do enough positive? Because I think the first couple games will be huge for him. He puts up and the schedule works out great for him where he can put up some numbers, put up some stats. So then when the struggle, because there's always, in football, you're always going to reach a period of struggling. And when he has that moment, when he throws a crazy interception, because he's that kind of guy, like I talked about it way back when I said, I see a little bit of Johnny Manziel in his game and that he likes to extend plays. He likes to get out of the pocket. He likes to throw the ball downfield. But with that, sometimes mistakes happen, interceptions happen. It's like, how will Nebraska fans, react to that at the end of the day? It's like, okay, we're going to take the good with the bad because there will be bad. It's just how fast, or is it going to become, or does the second string quarterback become the most popular guy in the state again? And it's like, okay, we got to make that switch. We got to get back to TJ. It's like, how will it all play out? Because you're going to have some patience. I really believe he has the ability and tools to play here at Nebraska. It's just a matter of, the patience that they have in him.
Absolutely. I'm really curious because, again, to your point, he's got a unique skill set. It's a little bit of that creativity, and that creativity looks great until it hurts you. And then once it hurts you, then you get anxiety anytime he starts to go out there and scrambles. But I say it all the time. He's either scrambling because he's got really good vision or he's scrambling because he's got really bad vision. It's one of the two. That or he's just a freak athlete, and he knows that I can beat people on the edge, and he does got some of that athleticism to him. I'll be curious to see what it looks like. But let's get a little bit more from these press conferences. We maybe get 1-2 more audio clips in there, and then we'll go to break. I want to get to this one because this was about the resources, and I know you and me talked about it. Matt Rule's been very big on he's got the money to kind of go after some guys this year in the portal. And, by all means, Nebraska didn't necessarily whiff out big time. I don't think they won in a major way that shook a lot of people, but I think they did enough to not cause any worries. Here's Matt Rule. We had enough resources to compete in the portal.
I think we have had more than we ever have, but as we've ascended, other people have certainly ascended, right? And so, sometimes people ask me, why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? And there's a finite amount of dollars that are available. So my job's not to complain. It's to figure it out with whatever we have. But there are $40 and $50 million rosters in 2026 in college football. And so we are grateful. Troy's worked really hard. Troy Dannon's worked really hard to get us in a position where we're hopefully within striking distance of some of those other teams. And we have had more than we've had previously. So that's kind of where we're at, but there is no limit maybe on what some people are doing.
That's insane.
So when I hear that, my first question is where is Nebraska at? He talks about other schools have $40 and $50 million rosters, and we're trying to stay in striking distance of them. Like, is it a $25 million roster, a $30 million roster. Where is the separation? And then my second thing is I'm like, okay, so if we give you a $50 million roster, are you guaranteeing us that you're going to be in the college football playoff? And it's like, I understand that there's a differential. Like, we'll probably never have Texas A&M money. We'll never have Texas Tech money. It's just the way it's set up, unless Warren Buffett decides to give his entire fortune to Nebraska, which would be an ultimate twist, But I'm just saying, it's like, you're probably never going to be in that very, very top echelon. But where do we rate with everyone else? Like, I would have to think that Nebraska is probably in the top 25%, top 20% of funding that they give to the players. So it's like, I understand you're not at the top echelon, but where you're at, it's pretty darn good. So I don't think you can always fall back on, well, we're not always at that top level.
Yeah, because again, you have other schools that I know have less than Nebraska that do more with less. But
Exactly.
to be fair, he had in that press conference, he stated everything I just said, saying, I understand there's a finite number, and it's not my job to complain. It's my job to make it work with what I have. So that's totally the correct attitude and statement to make there. That's because that's what you have. You have to make it work. So, and if you do make it work, I don't think you're ever going to crack into that elite space unless we have, some really, really great entrepreneurs graduating from the University of Nebraska soon that want to give back, or people that are on their way to becoming very rich.
But Nebraska's not at the bottom. They're not in the lower half. I really believe that if you looked at it, Nebraska's probably in the upper echelon of, probably not the top tier, because you have those Texas Techs out there. You have those teams that are just dumping, crazy amounts of cash. But I still think Nebraska's in that upper part of, and to be honest with you, that is amazing for Nebraska, being to what Nebraska's given for the last 10 years in football. They probably shouldn't have the type of money that they have. It should be one of those things that, you got to earn it, and I feel like Nebraska, just the football program in general, is just, they should be super grateful for what they do have, because Nebraska fans have been so loyal over the last, boosters have been so loyal over the past 20 years that where Nebraska's in the position that they are, that is a testament to the fans and the people of Nebraska and everyone that supports Nebraska. Because if you look at most teams, if they'd have, the downtrodden 9 years or 8 years that we had, you wouldn't be getting 80,000 people into a stadium. You'd be looking at more like 30,000 people, and it'd be a tough ticket. So it's a testament to the people of Nebraska and everybody that supports Nebraska, that they're able to have kept Nebraska in that upper echelon, because they probably should not be there if you looked at the prior record over the last 20 years.
No. Like, the easy answer, no. They don't belong to be up there. But the Nebraska fans don't care. They want them to be up there. That's why they keep giving, which is really awesome. I don't want to belittle the Husker fans for being as giving as they are, because that's a lot of loyalty, and you're not going to get that probably anywhere else outside of here in Nebraska. So it's really cool to see that they are still up there, but you want to have some results with it. The one part that just kind of disturbed me with everything, though, is how natural it is that we're just talking about $40-50 million rosters in college football. Like, I don't know, am I just still like way too romantic about it, or like that just rubbed me the wrong way? I know it's happening, but I mean, Raff, we're going to get to a point where we're talking about $75 million roster. I mean, it's just going to keep going up, because you heard it right there at the beginning. The way I interpreted that was Matt Rule, with those statements, felt really good about the money he had heading into this year. And then I think what happened with the transfer portal rolled out, and it was like, holy smokes, people are, they up their numbers again. Schools are now throwing even more money, and it just feels like every year we see the NIL does get bigger and bigger and bigger. And now there's not just like one team who maybe paid $50 million or $40 million. There's multiple teams surpassing $30-40 million, and that's unreal.
Yeah, eventually the government will have to step in, I would think, and they're going to have to put some sort of collective bargaining agreement together, because the numbers are going to get to such astronomical proportions. It's just, we all know it's not good for the game of college football. It's just that nobody has enough, say, kahunas to step in and fix it. I think that's why it's huge for college football, that somehow, some way, if they could, talk Nick Saban. I mean, he's never like turned it down, or he's never said, but Nick Saban is the guy that I think that college football should turn to and try to get things set up right. But like we've talked about too, once you get that toothpaste out of the bottle, it's hard to put it back in again. So what's going to happen? I already, being the visionary that I claim to be from time to time, look back in the 80s and the 90s, and you had players not getting paid, but getting paid. The SMUs, the Eric Dickersons, the Craig Jameses, the Pony Express at SMU, then getting the death penalty. Well, okay, so what I foresee is there's eventually going to put in like some sort of collective bargaining agreement. So they'll be like, okay, teams can only spend a maximum of, say, 50 million, that's crazy, but say no team can spend more than that. Well, then what's going to happen is then you're going to have the 80s coming back, where players are going to be getting paid under the table, and then you're going to have violations and stuff like that, because some boosters are just never satisfied. They've got to continue to give and give and give. And I feel like that what'll happen eventually is like those people are going to be like, okay, here's the money. This is your stopping point. But then people are going to find ways to, circumvent that and get more money. And it'll be like the 80s revisited.
I got a couple thoughts on that. And, we'll start with the, kind of feeling like the 80s. You're right. That's going to happen. But that's where you hope the NCAA has its spine back when it gets to that point. Because if they have their spine back, that's when you throw the book down and you say, sorry, these next few years at your university are going to be bad because you guys broke the rules and we caught you red-handed. Yep. Enjoy the consequences. And it's not fun for the university, and it's not always fair to some of the players or the fans, obviously, who had no part in that. And now they don't get to watch their team, or their team has to go through significant penalties. Yep. But I mean, you have to deter people from doing it. And the only way to do that is by slapping the book down. And that's why Michigan winning that state championship, or not state championship, but the national championship a while ago, when they broke the rules, that was like, oh boy, NCAA, you don't quite have the spine that you used to, because you just a little bit of a slap on the wrist, and they got caught pretty red-handed.
Well, even like Coach Rule said it today in his press conference. He was talking about players that still aren't on scholarship. And here they're doing the same exact things as these guys that are getting NIL deals. And I remember back when all this got started, I thought it was NIL was supposed to come around, to help the college athletes. Well, you're basically helping your top tier players, but it's doing nothing to assist these other guys that are out there doing the same exact thing. And you look at the money, like say, I don't know, say Nebraska's getting, they're using 30 million this year. They have a $30 million roster. And you're telling me that with that kind of money, you can't have all your players on scholarship. I mean, I thought when all this began, it was to help all the college or all your college athletes, but it just basically, it goes to that top, the top 10% or top 20% where the crazy money goes to. And it's like, I don't think that's what it was meant to be. I thought it was to assist everyone.
Yeah. And it's, again, I always say it's not even name, image, and likeness. It's name, image, and potential, because it's like, you can't tell me that some of these guys are worth X amount of millions of dollars. They haven't played yet. You don't know. And that's where the College Sports Commission, which maybe we can get into on the next segment, has got to bump up their aggressiveness to make sure these deals are legit. All right, don't go anywhere. Raff's good take on sports. We got 2 more segments on the other side. Talk to you in a bit.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and on behalf of the entire Koppel team, we would like to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and employees that have allowed us to become one of the most successful GM dealerships in the country for the past 50 years. So we are celebrating that with some huge discounts. Right now, we have up to $13,500 off MSRP or 0% APR on select new models, and new Blazer EVs are leasing for $279 a month with zero down. So check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit. See dealer for details.
The place you call home should always be a place of comfort. Warm and cozy in winter, cool and relaxing in summer. If your home isn't delivering the comfort you expect, call Bryant. It's more than just hot and cold to them. It's about providing the best comfort solutions. And Bryant gives you a full 24-month test drive on your home comfort system. Get full details at BryantLincoln.com or call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Jordy Ball for Anderson Ford. For years, Anderson has relied on an exceptional customer experience. But just this once, they're going to rely on a really great pitch.
Right now, lease a 2025 Ford F-150 for $199 per month.
Experience better at Anderson Ford.
Stock number 1007055. Previous service letter. $199 per month. Lease for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 6,800 to assignee. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from the Anderson Auto Group by 3/31/26. See dealer for details.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln. Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back in. Raff's Good Take on Sports, although we're dealing with a lot of the blues of college sports. Not so much with West Conference, but certainly with NIL. And Raff, I want to go back into the audio clips, but quickly, the College Sports Commission. I know they talked about adding a lot more, not just the importance of it, but adding staff, and they're going to take it more seriously. Is that enough to cool down this crazy NIL rush where we're getting $40 to $50 million teams, or do you think that's kind of a nothing burger and we're not going to see very much effect.
It depends who they have as leadership. I mean,
can look it up.
My thing is this is like all of college football is clamoring. Like you ask about anybody, Nick Saban's the guy that, the figureheads of, the ESPNs and the people out there. It's why the NCAA or whoever's in control is why they're dragging their feet and why they don't turn to Nick Saban. I mean, he would have, I would think, probably unanimous backing to take control and try to put the reins on things. And it's like, not once is anybody saying, hey, let's not give anybody anything, but let's just find a better way of doing it and find it, more of an equal way of this. Like I get, the money, money runs pretty much everything. And you're going to have these teams, like you're going to have the Texas Techs of the world, and you're going to have, these teams with the boosters. Like I always laugh, Oklahoma State, if this would have happened like 15, 20 years ago, T. Boone Pickens, they'd probably have 5 national championships on the mantle down at Oklahoma State because he would have bought every single player out there. But I just think they just got to find a way just to rein it in, or just to just find a balance in it. It just seems like every year or every 6 months, something else changes where you're just like, whoa. And it's continued on. I mean, we've been, doing these shows for, close to 4 years now. And it just seems like with every year, there's just something else different where you're just kind of raise your eyebrows and you're like, is this going to work? Or how long can this last for? Where is there an ending point? And so they just need to find they need to find a leadership, or they need to find, somebody that can take the reins and be like, okay, we're going to get things fixed. We're going to find a way to, still make sure the players get their money, but we're going to not be astronomical. Like I say what you want. I just don't think that there should be college football players making upwards of $10 million a year. And you hear that. It's like when all this began, it was basically players, they were upset because they couldn't buy, meals for, they couldn't buy their own dinners, and now it's just went into just like crazy world till it's like, okay, you have players making $2 million, $3 million. It's like, I guess that, I mean, is there such thing as amateur sports anymore? I think it's just professional.
I'd say if you're making $1 million, that's a pro. You're not paying a guy $1 million because he's an amateur. Like in the context of sports, it's like, yeah, but he's the 1% of the 1% still. Like we're talking about a pro, even though he's not at the pro level. And yeah, it's unfortunate because it can't go backwards. And this is where I think the NCAA, and they deserve a lot of the blame because they, at the very beginning, they could have prevented a lot of this.
Oh, totally. They could have came out and been like,
$5,000 or $10,000. You can give as many players as you want, like $5,000 to $10,000. Like that's fine. Problem solved. And no one would have like complained or felt like they were getting ripped off. But you left it completely open, and now some guys are getting not just $1 million, a couple mil for 1 year, and then you get some offensive walk-on linemen that aren't getting anything because their team isn't even like this isn't as big or whatever.
Well, this is what I thought when it first came down the pipeline. I thought, okay, players, maybe they'll get a couple thousand a month. Then maybe tiered, like your junior year, you get 3,000, 4,000, something like that. And I thought that every guy was going to get that money. And then the NIL part of it would come out, like the jersey sales and stuff like that. Then each individual player would get whatever their jersey sales were like. And I guess I was dreaming. I never thought, even when they talked to NIL, Ed O'Bannon, what was our Sam? Oh gosh, what was the old quarterback for Nebraska? Sam something. I forgot his name already, from Arizona State to Nebraska. But when they filed that lawsuit, I thought it was just going to be maybe a couple thousand a month, 3,000 a month. But I never thought it would escalate to where people were making, millions of dollars and signing contracts, for like, making $150,000 a month and crazy stuff like that. just never thought it would come to this, but now we're here, and now they got to find a way, to put the reins on it somewhat. But like I said, once you start it, it's hard to bring it back, because then you have to talk grandfather clauses. Well, he signed a contract for 4 years at, $12 million. So we can't bring him back because he's already signed that contract. So it'll be like COVID. You're revisited when they finally decide to, put some reins on this.
Very unfortunate. I don't know what it looks like. And Sam Keller, shout out unknown texter, 1,000.
Thank you.
Always looking out. Raff's Roadies. I don't know if he's a Raff Roadie or if he just wanted to correct Chris Raff, but nonetheless, appreciate the text as always. 402-464-5685. Talking about the landscape of college football. And yeah, all this to say, I don't know the answer. I don't think the College Sports Commission is going to be effective enough, led by Brian Seeley. I hope it is. You can't go backwards. That's my biggest fear on all this. And the numbers keep going up. I don't know, to your point, when it stops, if it stops, or how do you make it stop? We'll all kind of have to hope and wait and see on that one. Let's get to a little bit of Holgerson. Or go ahead.
Actually, can we do Ulrich? Because I felt like he was the bright light of the press conference today.
Okay. I do want to get to one Holgerson, but we can save that for the other side, because he did have some interesting and maybe not on the positive note. Let's go ahead and get to Ulrich. What's your priority list defensively the next few months? Obviously, getting ready to start spring ball.
Yeah, so we talk about like the tunnel of execution. Like there's a lot of things going around college football right now between portal and media and everything that's kind of taken the spotlight off college football, and we're focusing on the ball. And we need to execute at an elite level. We need to dial into our package and master our core concepts here through spring. And when I look at our defense there, I think the pieces are there. I think the talent's there. I don't think it's a question of the personnel. I think we have to execute and play the defense at a high level, and all our focus on how fast can we get our guys to execute at championship level.
And I'm going to add one more right back to it, because I do like this as well, and I think they'll kind of bleed into each other, but they follow up as well. And they asked, has he processed the enormity of the position he's currently in? Which is a great question.
Yeah, really try to keep the main thing. I'm here all day. Nobody treats me that well here. So everybody treats me like Rob. So I'm with the staff, and then I'm at home with my daughters and my son and my wife, and they don't treat me that well either. So it's I don't know if the enormity of the rule has been there. It's been a humbling experience, but we're excited to get to work, and we love the challenge. And one thing I'll say to your previous question about the different stops along the way is football's football. Football is football. And we believe in our process. We believe in what really good defenses look like from the way we execute. And we're going to try to live and drive our team to that standard.
He's got jokes, and they're pretty good ones at that. Also, he seems to have some good media skills, along with he does seem confident in himself. Raff, I'll let you speak on it.
Yeah, the one thing that I love the most about it is, I've been clamoring to it forever and ever. I'm like, let the coach what he knows. And I loved his conviction today, where he talked about, he got into the X's and O's. He talked about, what the defensive backs were going to probably be playing in, how they were going to show their blitzes, or not show their blitzes, but blitz packages. He was talking to, the 4-2-5. He is a man of conviction, and he knows what he wants to do. He's not clamoring back and talking about, well, I don't have the players, I don't have the NIL. He's throwing it back. At the end of the day, it's football, and it's about execution. And I loved hearing him talk today. I understand you got to follow through on the field. It could be a complete flop. You never know. But I like that he's going in with a plan. He's not adjusting his scheme for last year they ran a 3-3-5. He's going in saying, this is what we're going to do. This is my system. I feel good with the coaches I brought in that have coached with me before. I feel good with the coaches that are still here, because I've spoke to, and it's going to be his system. And man, I'll tell you what, that to me was music to my ears, because I'll be honest with you, with Coach Butler, I felt like he had one hand tied behind his back, because you never let him coach his system. So I'm so happy that, Coach Rule is giving him, carte blanche, so to say, and saying, coach your system, do what you do. And I think that's going to be huge for Nebraska in the long run.
Well, let's hear a little bit more about that. No one go to break here. It's an insight into a little bit of Orridge's system.
Yeah, so we're a split safety defense, majoring in quarters and cover 7 or bracket variations. There's a lot of Saban principles in the defense. There's a lot of Mike McDonald and some of the Jesse Minter, some of their influences on the defense. And ultimately, you'll see us in split field defense most of the time, and then getting to a bunch of different coverage variations of it. We'll be in 4-2-5 personnel with the rush stood up into the boundary, the weak side DN. We like to think that we're really multiple post snap, but pretty simple pre-snap.
So there you have it. You get into it. To your point, he at least sounds like he's going to be able to do what he wants to do, and I think we were all hoping for that. We saw it defensively. It felt like that. Offensively, it definitely felt like that at times. I'm still not sure where we're at on the offensive side of the ball. We'll get to a little bit of Holgson as well. We also got Bruce Davis chiming in on YouTube. Nebraska women's basketball still going on, but unfortunately they kind of slipped away the lead there. 70-72, still 2 minutes left to go, but they are currently down to the Oregon Ducks. And the women's basketball team, they really could use a win to try to shift their momentum. Otherwise, they might be looking at the NAT if they can't start picking themselves up here. So a lot on the line for the women's basketball team, and we'll hope. We'll talk about it if they lose. If not, Nick Wyman, he'll have you covered. He'll do a little bit of post-game wrap-up himself. Don't go anywhere, though. This is Raff's Good Take on Sports. 93.7 The Ticket. We'll talk to you guys in a bit.
Hey, guys. This is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Geode Health is now open in Lincoln, bringing high-quality mental health care to the community. Located downtown near Lincoln Central Business District, this is Geode's first location in Nebraska and part of a growing national footprint. Now welcoming patients to work with Dr. Eric Curry, board-certified outpatient psychiatrist specializing in adult mental health care, including treatment for ADHD, anxiety, depression, mood disorders, medication management, and more. Geode is also growing in its Lincoln Care Team, with opportunities for therapists interested in collaborative, patient-centered care. Appointments available now. Visit geodehealth.com. That's GEODE health.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
When you or someone you know has been seriously injured and you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will fight for the justice you deserve in court to get the very best possible outcome. Trust the compassionate and hardworking attorneys at Liberty Law Group when you need an attorney in Nebraska or Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
It's Flavor Flav, and I'm bringing the hype to the U.S. bobsled and skeleton team with Raisin Cane's, chicken fingers, and cane sauce with a bobsled plush puppy.
One love. Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
It's basketball season, and Salt Mine City is your pregame and postgame headquarters in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Get ready for the game with their big, fatty 7-ounce hamburger or try a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, your basketball headquarters, now open at 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Oh, honey, I love the first few months of a new year.
Why?
I get a chance to shovel.
You hate to shovel.
Not snow, cash. The Nebraska Lottery's Cash Blast promotion is back. Buy a 2x2 ticket and get a voucher. Enter online for a chance to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. And if your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is doubled.
Great. It snowed last night. Here's a shovel.
But
consider it practice.
2x2 top prize odds are 1 in 105,000.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome in. Harrison Ron's on the ones and twos. Chris Raff joining in via stream. And I will say this women's basketball game's taking a tough turn. They might end up losing this one, but they're only down 4. There's 35 seconds left. Nebraska could really use this one. If they don't, that's 6 straight losses for them. When they do get to 0 on the clock, as long as it's not overtime. Nick Wyman's actually going to be doing post-game, not right here in studio, but we're going to have 2 streams going on at the same time. So you can go check out Nick Wyman on YouTube if Nebraska women's basketball is your thing, or you can hang out with me and DeMornay Pearsonell, whichever one sounds better to you. Or if you're an elite ticket listener, have 2 screens, have them both going at the same time. All right, Chris Raff, let's get back to football, though. I want to get to Holgorsen because he had some interesting comments. And I don't know if I feel good or bad or just kind of mad about it, but here's Holgorsen on, did you learn anything last year? Here's Holgorsen.
Nah, I'm doing this 33 years now. Pretty much seen it all. Do you know the offense better? I mean, we're constantly just tweaking things and tweaking things and tweaking things to where it's not foreign, you know, so. But no, I thought we made strides last year. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but, you know, just I thought we made strides and there were some things that went wrong that set us back and didn't detour me and what I think this offense is capable of.
So there you have it. I don't think he's wrong in saying that, but I don't know. How do you feel about him just saying no straight up?
Well, that, you know, that's the confident coach. You got to be a little bit arrogant, and that's the confidence that he has. But the thing that kind of caught me off guard was, I do know the offense better, and it's not foreign. Was he speaking about himself, or was he speaking about the players? Because I was sitting there going, this goes back to, shouldn't it be your offense? Why does the coach know the offense better? Isn't it your offense that you're coaching? You see, that's where I get lost in translation. It's like, you're Dana Holgorsen. We hired you to be the offense coordinator. There should have been no semblance of I forgot our tight ends coach's name. I tend to forget him. I don't know why, but I do. But why did we keep a semblance of that offense? He had an entire offseason to install his offense. It's like that's why I scratch my head so much, because I'm like, why aren't your coordinators running what they know best? And so I'm glad that, he knows the offense better and it's not foreign anymore, but it never should have been, because he had the whole offseason to put in his concepts and put in, what he knows best. That's why we hire him. That'd be like, well, Chris, we're going to hire you to be offense coordinator, but you're going to run the other guy's offense, even though we fired him, or didn't fire him. We didn't really demote him. We moved him to tight ends coach. It's like, no, if you're bringing me to be the offense coordinator, we're going to run my offense.
Yeah. And that's where, again, he's kind of, got the confidence in himself. Interesting answers. I'm not going to sit here and say that like, he's, I don't know how to describe it. Like, those answers just kind of made me put me in like more curious than before. And I'm not saying like I'm panicking now, but for some reason I'm a little bit more curious than before, because to your point, I don't necessarily know fully what he means by that, because it was his offense. So interesting choice of words.
Well,
go ahead.
Even like, what are we going to do? And he's like, well, we're really not going to know. We didn't know until game 6 of last year what we were. It's like, okay.
Well, here's Holgerson. Let's get to that real quick. Holgerson, what will Nebraska's offense strengths be?
We're going to have starters out there that I've never seen in person. So, I know you want me to say something other than that, but it's just, look, what did we get good at last year? Midway through the season, we got good at running inside zone and duo with a back that got us yards. Didn't stumble on that until game 6. So figure out what your guys do good and just start gravitating towards that. So see where it goes.
I could have told you Emma Johnson was going to be good at that before you got to game 6, but nonetheless, but like stuff like that, I'm like, I think they're being very cautious to not oversell it, which maybe I can respect.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I just hope we stumble into something. That's I hear that. I'm just like, okay, because like we just previous segment, we talked about the defense coordinator and the plan he has, and like he's going to we're going to run quarters. We're going to run 4-2-5. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this, and I'm sitting there like, okay, he's got a plan. Now it's up to the players to execute that plan. So I guess myself, I'd want a little bit more convinced. It's like, okay, we're going to come out. We're going to be multiple. We're going to focus on running the ball. Then we're going to bring in the play action. We're going to, incorporate a little bit of a moving pocket because we got a little bit more mobile of a quarterback this year. It's just like, I guess that might have been a little too in depth, but I think you're going to see some tweaks in the Nebraska offense, because with Calandria, he likes throwing off schedule. He likes getting outside the pocket. So I think you're going to see some maybe more moving pockets this year. I think you'll see more of the tight end this year. A guy they don't bring up a lot is Carter Nelson. I think that's a guy I think Nebraska could really use to be a real threat in that Nebraska offense with his speed.
100%. A lot of questions still up in the air. We'll have to wait and see if the coaches can find those answers along with the players. But we got some time to think about it. They're in spring football, so we'll have plenty more to talk about coming up here shortly. Don't go anywhere. Good morning, Pearson. Up next, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth.